Hello, this is Andrea St. Amand. If any of you all tried to watch that last video, I was in a very beautiful setting out in my garden, but apparently the video didn't work. So let's do take two. Here we go. All right, I'm going to talk about something that I've heard a lot of my clients say yesterday and over the last several days, and that is that life is empty in spite of everything looking great from the outside. So specifically, my client yesterday morning started off our meeting by saying, "My life is great." But he said that in a way that indicated it wasn't entirely great, but he couldn't quite put his finger on what wasn't great. He had a very good job, a job that he had been in for a long time. He was close to retiring, close in a relative sense of retiring. He was more financially secure than he had ever been in his life, more than he ever thought he would be in. He had a nice house. He could travel. He loved to travel. But he all of a sudden he interrupted himself and he said, "Have you ever been to the Midwest where there are just wide open plains, or the West where there's prairies that go on forever?" And he said, "At one point in my life, I would have found those prairies to be wondrous, endless." And he said, "Now I think of those prairies and I think, that's what my life is like, vast and empty and barren, and it is overwhelming." So he said, I just can't stand the thought of getting up every day for the next 9 years and doing the same job, and then I'm retiring, and then what? I don't know what comes after that." And so many people have expressed that to me lately, that their lives are really good, but they just don't want to keep getting up and doing the same thing over and over again, and they don't even have a clear picture of what comes after that or what to change. And immediately they all say, "Oh, but I'm comfortable. I'm very grateful for everything I have, and I'm comfortable." Well, when you are telling yourself you're comfortable and you're in a situation of discomfort, you're not comfortable. You're creating a cognitive trap for yourself. You're creating this cycle that you are preventing yourself from getting out of. And when I bring that up to people in a kinder way than I just said it now, resistance really kicks in. And they say, "Well, I can't change anything right now. I've got to stay exactly where I am for the next several years. I have to keep my job. I have to do this. I have to keep this house. I have a parent I'm caring for." A lot of us have elderly parents or some elderly relative that we're caring for, or children, or just all this resistance kicks in about why you have to stay in your comfortable spot, and why you can't make changes. So all of those things that you claim are preventing you from making changes, they're all external, because the only change that you ever have to make, ever, is internal. It's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual, and it's really hard to change that. But you can do that. You can shift. You can make this tiny little shift where your perception of everything around you is very different, and then you're strong enough to start taking baby steps to change those external things that you feel right now are preventing you from living the life you're wanting to live. So you don't have to. I did it the opposite way. I did it from the outside in. I threw a hand grenade in my life, which you do not have to do, and I don't recommend it. I quit my job, sold my house, got a divorce, and then I spent the next several years floundering and literally not knowing what to do with myself, because I hadn't made that internal shift and I hadn't found my magic. So I was blaming everything external to me, and I was changing everything external to me without doing the internal work. So when you're in a state of feeling like you are floundering, or like you're comfortable but you're not comfortable, or that your life is barren, or that you're in a slump and that it's okay, you're telling yourself that mediocrity is okay, and you have all these reasons, these external reasons why mediocrity is okay. You're telling yourself a story, and it's a story you can stop telling at any minute. And when you're sick and tired of that story, that mediocrity is okay, comfortableness is okay, reach out to me. You don't have to know where to go. You don't have to know what the solution is. You don't have to know which direction you're going to step in. But you can make a declaration to yourself that from this point forward, from right now, starting right now, that you are going to live a life that only suits you. not society, and not all of your obligations. You can suit you and still, with a great deal of love, honor all of your obligations and all of your loved ones. But you got to honor yourself first, and you can declare that today, and that's the first step in making that mental and emotional and spiritual shift in the right direction. After that, don't go it alone. Reach out to me. I will get you back in your magic. I've done it for other clients, and I will hold you accountable to stay there and to live from there. And slowly those other things that are external in your life will start changing, because if you are feeling like you're living in the middle of the plains and they're not beautiful and wondrous, they're actually empty and barren, that's not okay. When you're feeling like you're uncomfortable being comfortable, that's not okay. Mediocrity is not what you're here for. So when you're tired of that story, reach out to me or reach out to anybody else in this group. Okay? Talk to you next time.